How's it going, guys? My name's Darn Barra, and this is the Weekly Cleanse. We're talking about Bleach bi-weekly. And if you're wondering why I'm sitting down again, well, I just felt like it. And I think I'm going to stay like this as I do my reviews from now on, so yeah. And this week is Bleach Chapter 591, Marching Out the Zombies 2, and the review starts now. So following up last week, Ron cards are back. Ron cards we least expect are back. Dordoni, Tsuruchi, Luffy, and Charlotte Coolhorn. I don't understand why. It's a really unlikely team too. Like I get Tsuruchi and Dordoni, but Luffy and Coolhorn, that's kind of an odd team. But it happened. So it turns out Dordoni, Tsuruchi, and Luffy were found in Zalaporo's lab, and it is confirmed that those two hanging corpses in that chat there where Mayuri breaks into his lab was actually them. So there's that. But Coolhorn, he was killed in the Fake Karakura Town arc, so that just leaves room to think that there are going to be Arankars that were slain in the Fake Karakura Town battle will be back. They will be back. I hope they are. Like Barragan's faction, for example. So we have Coolhorn, so why not have Arankars like Findor or Poe, or even that bird thing Kira fought. I think his name is Aguila, I forgot. Also Arankar, also like Espada from the Fake Karakura Town. I mean, like Stark or Barragan, because we know Hallibel's alive. But what about Stark or Barragan? I'm thinking Barragan is highly unlikely because of the way he was killed in that fight, and yeah, well, there goes that thing. But he might be. I'd be really surprised if he did come back. The King of Huecamundo going in and leading the charge with his Arankar army and whatever. Also, we have Stark, who I really want to be back. That'd be really fucking amazing if he did come back. But I don't know. All we can do is hope for now, right? Aside from Arankars from the Fake Karakura Town arc, what about Arankars from Huecamundo? So we have Luffy, Dordoni, and Tsuruchi. What about Arankars like Aroniro? I think Aroniro would be the most useful here because of his Zanpakuto Gluttoneria, which has over I think 13,000, or was it 33,000? I forgot, but it was a huge number of hollows under his arsenal, so he could be really useful here. Even Yami too. Yami's fucking huge, so he'd be of so much use in this fight. I'd be down for Noitra to come back, even if he doesn't have anything special within his resurrection, other than having 6 arms and being totally battle crazy. I think it'd be cool if he'd be back. He'd be back and backing up what's his name, Kenpachi. I'd imagine that happen and everyone just losing their minds of that kind of thing going down. Fuck, be amazing. Other than that, I doubt Zalaporo would be back because Mayuri does hate the way he thinks in the name of science and shit like that. Because if you remember back in their fight, he went on in this speech about being perfect is an absolute bad idea and shit, which I thought was a really cool speech on Mayuri's part. Oh my god, blew my mind. It made me think that yes, being perfect is not the greatest thing ever. Don't strive to be perfect, strive to be better, you know. Another person that's highly unlikely to come back is Zomare, because Byakuya did finish him off without a trace of his body. So, I mean, that's how I assume Mayuri brought these guys back, because, well, Luffy's body was obliterated, his upper half, but then he managed to repair his entire upper half, I think based on his lower body. So I don't know, maybe that's how Luffy came back, but I doubt Zomari would come back from this because like his entire body's gone too. So alongside with Ulquiorra, I wouldn't mind Ulquiorra coming back. It would be fucking insane if he did, but chances are he probably won't be back either. Also, in regards to these Arrancars coming back, it's pretty cool to see that these guys are back, like not as mindless like puppets or like zombies, but rather just like revive and doing their thing, like on their own, like, you know, free will, sort of. Unlike Giselle zombies, of course, where they're being controlled by her power and are being revived and like being like totally used and shit like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty cool that these Arrancars are back and like doing their thing their own way, sort of. Because Mayuri, yeah, well, Mayuri, fuck you. Speaking of Mayuri, this chapter also made me look at Mayuri in a totally different way. Because, like, in this chapter, he went on and said his speech about protecting the Soul Society and all that shit, and destroy those who threaten its peace and all that jazz. And, like, after seeing him say that, it made me realize that the shit he does from the moment we met him to now is he does this for the benefit of the Soul Society. Now hear me out. Like, when I say at the beginning, I meant like when we first met him, when he tried to like take Orihime as one of his experiments. Which, well, I'm glad that didn't happen, but he did try to take Orihime for the sake of, you know, experimenting on humans. What kind of power she has and all that stuff, you know, to use against like threats that could happen based on whatever he took out of Orihime. Well, yeah, again, it's for the benefit of the Soul Society, no matter how twisted and, you know, disgusting it is. Also, when he was like, you know, gathering corpses of these Arrancars, like both Huecamundo and the fake Karakura town, like you'd think like he would just like do this for the sake of research. But he even went as far as reviving them and using them in this fight. Like, you know, Arrancars, you know, enemies of these Soul Reapers during that arc, now being used as like sort of allies to protect the Soul Society. I mean, it's kind of messed up, like if you kind of think about it, but again, it's for the benefit of the Soul Society. So all that and like other things that I can't really explain is Mayuri's way of, you know, carrying out his duties as a captain of the Gotei 13, you know. Whether it's like, whether you think it's pretty fucking sick or beneficial, that's up to you. But it just made me realize that Mayuri is just doing his thing as a captain, you know. Now, another thing about this chapter that made everyone say, what the actual fuck, was when Charlotte Coolhorn took down Bambietta in like within 4 or 3 pages. And I thought, what the fuck as well, because you got this like low class, well, not really low class, but like this like fraction level Arrancar like took down like a fucking Stern Reader. Which, I mean, I would understand if it were like someone like maybe like Grimjaw or like any Espada level like Arrancar, but a fraction level Arrancar taking down a Stern Rider. That makes you think, what? And I thought about this like a lot, but there was a lot of things to consider here. Like, they did watch like both Yumichika and Ikaku fight Bambietta right before they came in, so they knew what they were going up against. Second is maybe as Mayuri was reviving them, he maybe gave them like a power up of some sort. So maybe that's how Charlotte took like Bambietta down very easily. Another thing to consider here is that if you guys remember, hollows are sort of poison to Quincy's. So one Cero was enough to take her down. Also, another thing to think about is that Bambietta is now like a zombie, like a puppet. So she's not really herself, you know. But like if she were like alive, like right now, I don't think that would have been a problem for her to take down like someone like along the lines of Charlotte, but we're talking about zombie-fied Bambietta, so she might not be herself, so I guess that's why she was easily taken out. Also, Mayuri did deal a huge blow on Bambietta on the last chapter, so there's that to consider as well. So don't get mad at Kubo just cause a fraction level, like a Ron car like Charlotte Coolhorn took down a Quincy Stern Reader like Bambietta. So the last thing we're going to talk about this week, and it's what made everyone lose their minds, was when Toshiro Hitsugaya showed up under Giselle's orders. And we noticed something very different about him, other than the Quincy attire, is that he has the same skin complexion as Bambietta. And Bambietta is dead. So that means Toshiro Hitsugaya is dead. Yeah. And here's the thing. Kubo killed off, or supposedly killed off, Hitsugaya. And we have yet to see his like improved Bankai. The Bankai he's been trying to improve since the end of that fight with Aizen. And now that he's dead, are we going to see it? The answer? Probably. If he does, it's most likely going to be used against like the Soul Reapers and not on the Quincy's, because he's under Giselle's control. So here's what I hope. Either Hitsugaya uses his improved Bankai against the Soul Reapers, which will totally suck on their part, or snaps out of it, uses his improved Bankai to finish off Giselle. And maybe if he's really dead, turn to ashes or whatever, I don't know. But seriously, we have yet to see Hitsugaya finish off an opponent. I mean, he did like once, but then that was like a long time ago. Like, you know, remember that fight against Xiaolong? Yeah, that was the last time he actually did finish off an opponent. Every other time, it was either he gets cut down or he like didn't finish them off at all. Another thing, if Hitsugaya is being zombified, then what are the chances Rangiku gets zombified too? She was there too, and Kangdu pretty much, I think, killed Rangiku as well. So we might see zombified Rangiku as well. Yay. And this might suck, but I can imagine Giselle violating Rangiku. I don't know why I thought of that, but there's that to think about also, sort of. And I also have a feeling that Luffy will charge in at Toshiro, because if you remember, after Toshiro defeated Luffy, he did say he was gonna come back for Toshiro and like kill him. So we might see a Luffy versus Toshiro rematch. I don't know who's gonna win. It's probably going to be Toshiro at this point. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for my review. Leave your comments down below what you think will happen next. Also, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like to see more of this stuff. And quick announcement. I might not be doing a weekly cleanse next week. If I do, then it's probably going to be out the week after. So just a heads up. And another thing, I'm also working on a Gurren Lagann review, so look out for that as well. So my name's Dora Navarra, this has been the Weekly Cleanse, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.